Hello everyone! Now that we are familiar with the parts of a map, we are going to go into the history of maps. Before we begin, I want to ask the question, what is cartography? Well, cartography is the making of maps or map making, and this has changed over the years, and we will go through those changes throughout this portion of the lesson. We will start with early cartography or map making and go through the modern age of cartography and the present to see the continuous changes that were made. Let's begin in 2300 BC. This is the earliest recorded map in history, and as the slide says, this map was made during Babylonian times, and since paper wasn't invented yet, this map was made on a stone tablet. Jumping ahead in time to 150 AD, this was a very important map in history because it was the first map to introduce the concept of longitude and latitude, which, if you remember from earlier in this lesson, these lines are used to locate different points or coordinates on the map to make navigation and traveling easier. It is hard to tell from this picture, but what is not included on this map is North and South America. And it is not on this map because the Americas had not been discovered yet, and during this age in cartography, the people in charge of making these maps only drew and created maps of what they knew. Moving to the 1100s, the Tabula Rogeriana map by Al-Idrisi was made. This map was important because it was the first to record natural features as well as recorded ethnic and cultural groups. In the 1300s or medieval times, we saw the rise of European maps. Maps during this time were called Mappa Mundi, and the map that I have pictured here is called the Hereford Mappa Mundi, which is the largest medieval map ever created. One fun fact of this map is that it shows the center of the map to be Jerusalem, and it also labels what we know as Europe as Africa, and Africa as Europe, so the labels are flipped on this map. Then in the 1400s, or more specifically 1450, the Fra Mauro map was created by a monk of the same name and shows the known world at the time, which was Europe, Asia, and Africa. Something interesting about this map is that although south is usually at the bottom of the map, this map shows south at the top. In 1569, we saw the Americas finally represented in the Mercator's map by Gerardus Mercator. This map is also important because it was the first map to record the Earth as a sphere by making the longitude and latitude lines curve instead of straight lines. During the Industrial Revolution in 1760 to 1840, there was an increase in the need for maps here in the United States since the use of train transportation sprang up. Maps during this time included the main train routes and were made smaller to be more practical for everyday use. Before, maps were a sign of power and were made to look like artistic masterpieces, so now in this time period it was recognized that people needed maps to navigate the world, so it led to maps being more readily available to the public. We have traveled through time and have finally made it to the modern age of cartography that we are familiar with today. GPS, also known as Global Positioning System, was created and launched in 1973. With the creation of this technology, we had maps and navigation all in the palm of our hands. We have come a long way with cartography, and knowing where maps come from helps us to better understand the maps that we use today. Thank you for going through this journey through time with me, and have fun going through the rest of this lesson on maps.